Hi everybody, welcome. I'm Dorothy. I'm a professional astrologer and you can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com. And there's going to be a little information bubble up on the, I don't know which side it's on. I think it's over here. No, maybe it's over here. Wherever it is, click on that. It'll take you right to my website. Today I want to talk about the month of July for those of you who have Aries on the ascendant, the rising sign, or those who are Aries. So the general information is as follows for this whole month. So I'm going to pick out a few things, and there's always a ton more. And when I do get to the full moon and the new moon forecast, just remember I will create an individual video forecast for those. So come find those when the time comes. So right off the bat, July 1st, full moon in the sign of Capricorn. It's at 9 degrees of Capricorn. This goes on in your solar 10th house. And that just means that there is something that you're being made aware of at work, at home, well, not at work, at your home. At work because the sun is down in Cancer in your 4th house of home and family. The full moon is up there in that career sector, so there's something going on right now. July in the United States, early July, is usually a very quiet month as far as people really getting a lot done because we're coming up to our nation's anniversary of freedom, and so people tend to take a lot of time off in this week. So maybe that's all that it is, but if that's not the case for you, it could also be about setting boundaries at work, or you realizing where you're being asked to do too much and you need to set boundaries with that boss of yours. And that can be done, and it can be done in a very logical, practical, and loving way. Just don't be too aggressive. Aries can be that way, but you don't have to be. Now, on the same day, we have a fantastic aspect that's been going on for a couple of days, started at the end of June, and that is Venus in Leo, conjunct Jupiter in Leo, and that is in your 5th house, so your solar 5th house. That is fun, loving, having a great time. So you guys who are Aries, this is a fantastic weekend for you to get out and to play. So have fun with that and go play, be generous. It's a great, great day. Now, on July 4th, the moon moves into that rebel sign of Aquarius, which really fits our nation's energy for the day anyways. And for you, it's a sextile to your sign with the moon in Aquarius, and that just means that it represents being independent, being a rebel. It really does look, it reminds me of fireworks. So that moon in Aquarius is about fireworks and lightning and sudden shifts and changes in our emotions. And that is what we get on this 4th of July. Now, on July 6th, we have, I'm going to pick my notes up, it's easier to look up. The moon on July 6th, we have the sun is still in the sign of Cancer. At this point, though, it is opposite Pluto. Now, once a year, the sun and Pluto are in an opposition, and the other 3 times it's either a square or conjunction. This time it is creating opposing forces. And so if the sun's in Cancer, like the full moon, that means that the sun is down there in that home sector again, and Pluto is traversing through your career sector. So there must be some sort of shifts and changes going on for you, especially those people who have Capricorn at the very top of their chart in their natal chart. So there is something going on here. It's a little bit of stress around home and family and your career and what your public image is. There's a little bit of stress going on there right now, but the July 1st full moon should have kind of brought something to your attention. So this eclipse, this Sun-Pluto opposition might not be as a surprise. We'll see. You'll see. On July 8th, Mercury will move into the sign of Cancer, and when it moves into that sign for the next 3 weeks, that just tells me and shows us that we're having lots and lots of emotional conversations and feeling very sentimental about whatever it is that we're communicating. A lot of families will get together during this time period whenever Mercury runs through the sign of Cancer. Since Mercury represents siblings and communication, Cancer is home and family again. You'll hear me say that a lot today. So, next, I'm going to move on to July 12th. The sun, again, in the sign of Cancer, will make a square aspect to Uranus in your sign of Aries. Now, that is whatever is happening for you on this day, whatever happens for you on July 12th. This will be something that's sudden and very unexpected. So this goes from family, from the 4th house to the 1st house. That 1st house represents who we are, and that 4th house is all about our home and family, as is the sign of Cancer. So there is something going on that is causing you some stress, and you need to, either you're working too much, or you're trying to find some way to support your family better, or you're spending too much time at work, and it's not going over well at home. All right. Next aspect, and I'll talk more about this in another video, but I'll give you a little touchdown on this, and that is on the 15th, and that's the new moon, again in the sign of Cancer, again in your 4th house of home and family. There's a lot of new opportunities here, so up until the 15th, so all the way from the 1st to the 15th of July, there seems to be some shifts and changes. This Cancer energy represents cardinal energy. 4th house is the cardinal house. 10th house, a cardinal house, that's your career, and the 1st house, also a cardinal house. That means July, there's a lot of movement, but there's tension that creates that movement, and that's so typical. All right, tension is what creates movement in astrology. So when we have square aspects and oppositions, then it's time for things to shift, but it usually only shifts through a little bit of adversity. So with that new moon in the sign of Cancer, in that home area of home and family, then there is a great opportunity for you to set new goals and to start implementing new things that you can really, that can really help you with your family and the dynamic of whatever is going on there for you. You know, we also have Mars in Cancer opposite Pluto. We have Mercury in Cancer opposite Pluto, and Mercury and Mars conjunct in the sign of Cancer. All of this is cardinal energy. All of this is about, we are making some movement and some shifts and changes. And for you, Aries, that really is, it's the purest of energy, since Aries is the beginning of the zodiac, that all of these energies in the correct place. So all of this energy is highlighted for you especially. Cancer will feel it really strong. All of the cardinal signs will feel the month of July very, very strong. All right, so when we have the 18th, we have Mercury in the sign of Cancer making a square aspect to Uranus and Aries. Again, more conversations around things that are you are feeling very, very emotionally and are very highly charged for you. All right. Next, I want to move to the 22nd of July, and that's when the sun finally steps out of Cancer and moves into that fixed fire sign of Leo. That's a lot of heat, and it is emotionally, it represents our creativity and how we want to express ourselves in regards to, well, how we're creative and the fun things that we want to do and the way that we want to play. On the 23rd, Mercury follows suit and moves into that Leo, that sign of Leo as well, and then makes a conjunction to the sun. So the moon and Mercury are traveling neck and neck right now in the solar system. So we really can't see Mercury because it is right there with the sun, and the sun outshines it, so we're not able to see Mercury at all. So they will work together, so communicating in a very creative way, a very expressive way, a way that represents fire, because Leo is fire sign. So be very careful about your words right now, because sometimes while they can be very creative, they can also be extremely biting. All right, I'm going to move on to the last two things I'll talk about for July. And on the 25th of July, we have Venus going retrograde, and she will be retrograde till September 5th. And this is in the sign of Leo. So when Venus is in Leo, she's demanding that you romance her, and that you treat her like a new lover, and that you really you give her a lot of attention. But she goes retrograde for quite a few months, like I said, all the way till September 5th. And while she does that, so there is just a lot of emotions and a lot of replaying of old relationship issues. A lot of that will come up while Venus is retrograde in the sign of Leo. Leo also represents us taking financial risks too. And Venus is money. When it rules Taurus, it's about money. When it's about Venus, it's about relationships. Venus and Libra, it's about relationships. So you got either relationship things coming up. I wouldn't say issues, but our attention will be drawn into our relationships, and or it will be drawn into the financial piece. We'll see. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody. All right. Now on the 31st, we have the second full moon of the month. This one is in the sign of Aquarius. Again, that is in your 11th house. And so the full moon in Aquarius does represent a shift and change in our friendships or our focus into groups. And maybe it's just the time of year where you start focusing in on doing things as a group endeavor, you know, like a bunch of people who go cycling or a bunch of people who go camping or whatever it is that you do as a group. It is an opportunity for that to come to the surface for you to work. So that second full moon of the month will do that. Kind of like a blue moon, but it's not really. Blue moon is actually 2 full moons in the same zodiac sign. But by default, we kind of have a blue moon here because we have 2 full moons in the same month. So we start the month with a full moon and releasing of certain issues. We go through all this cardinal energy throughout July. Cardinal energy is all about initiating change. And then we end with a fixed full moon in the sign of Aquarius, which is, again, another level of releasing and letting go. All right, I will leave you with that. There's a lot of information. All right, thanks for following. Please share. Click on that little icon in the corner of the video, and you can go right to my website. And all kinds of great stuff there. Classes, sessions, blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much. Namaste.